Hey guys, Expert here again with Dead Man's Clash, and this is going to be part 2 of how to build an anti-3-star base for Town Hall 9 or Town Hall 8. So I'm not going to go over everything I went over in the first video. If you're just tuning in and you haven't seen that video, turn this one off, go back and watch that one. It'll give you all the beginning steps that I brought up. And we're going to touch on the second half of everything I want to talk about. So let's just get into it right away. Same bases we were dealing with last time, and first thing I'm going to talk about is kill zones. Not a lot of people know the term kill zone, but what a kill zone is a high DPS area, damage per second area. A lot of times that consists of 4 Teslas in a little compact area. You've probably seen a lot of those on the Diamond Tesla Moat base, for instance, or a lot of different anti-3 bases and symmetrical bases that use all 4 Teslas grouped together in one area. Another version of a kill zone is actually 3 Wiz Towers and 1 Tesla, as opposed to just a quad Tesla. It's not as popular, being that you're putting all those Wiz Towers together, and I don't know why that is. People just like to spread them out for their splash damage, but it's the same effect. It's a high damage per second area, and when your troops get in there, when their troops get in there, they're going to die really fast. So the whole idea for a kill zone is to force people to use early heal spells, especially on hosts and stuff like that. So the idea is you want them to go into this kill zone. A kill zone is always in one compartment. So you'd have, say, this middle compartment here would have all 4 Teslas in it, or would have 3 Wiz Towers and 1 Tesla. And the idea is that when the ground troops get in there, they're going to be taking a ton of damage, and you're going to force them to drop a heal spell earlier than he planned on. Now, when you're thinking of that, you need to make sure that your kill zone does not have any of your giant bombs in it. And the reason for that being, obviously, you want the attacker to have to use his heal spells over those giant bomb, whether they're singles or doubles. You want them to have to use a heal there. So you want to keep them a full heal spell away from the kill zone. Traps, right? Those double giant bombs. So, of a kill zone. You want them to have to use a heal in a place that they weren't necessarily planning on using a heal spell. So that's the idea of a kill zone. You also want to keep it away from the AQ. If they jump into a kill zone and they're taking out the defenses in the kill zone and taking out your AQ, they're not going to mind dropping a heal spell or a rage or whatever they have to there, because they're taking out your AQ. So keep your AQ away from that as well. Not every base implements a kill zone. This one doesn't. I won't, and that's okay. But certain bases do, and you may want to on the base that you have. I don't really know. But if you do want to use a kill zone, that is how you do it. So let's get into a bit more of a fun section on bombs. Smalls, and then giant bombs, singles and doubles. We're going to talk about that. So, single bombs. Let's go to them first, because people really know what to do with these. I see a lot of people use them in zigzag patterns on the inside of their base. I see a lot of people use try to bundle them up into groups of 4 or 6 because they think they're going to work like a double giant bomb, and they don't. They just don't work the same way. They don't do the extra damage to the hogs. They don't do what you think they're going to do. They might take out a couple extra whiz here and there, but they're not going to do damage to groups of hogs, not a lot of damage at least, and they're not going to do that. What you want to use the small bombs for is taking out wall breakers. A lot of attackers will only bring 4 wall breakers with them for their kill squad or whatever their attack happens to be. Using this tactic with your bombs, or your small bombs, you can actually negate the wall breakers completely, causing their troops to obviously take a lot more time getting inside your base. Now, somebody like me attacks you, I bring 6 wall breakers specifically for this reason, and they're not going to work, but they're not really good in any other sense, so you want to use them in that area. So obviously what I've done here is I've showed in the last video, in this particular base, my kill squad would almost always come in from this side over here. Sorry if you heard a buzz there, my phone was going off, and it is again for some odd reason. Anyways, so yeah, this is where I'd bring a kill squad in on this base, and what you want to do is if your giant, or if your small bombs aren't at level 6, which mine aren't, they're level 5, you want to double them up, because they're not going to be able to kill wall breakers if they're not level 6 by themselves. You have to double them up. If they're level 6s, you can spread them out by themselves, that's fine. And you need to keep them 1 tile away from the wall. That's important. They won't work if they're not, in terms of killing wall breakers. Wall breakers will detonate before they're killed by the detonating small bomb. So, kind of a cool thing to do with those. I don't know if everyone really knows that that's what they're supposed to be used for. That's what they can be used for in war bases. So So yeah, so that's the whole point of them. And onto the giant bombs. Everybody loves these. Everybody doubles them up for hogs, and that's pretty much what we're going to talk about. So double giant bombs and single giant bombs can all be used in a manner of different ways. One of the most important things about them, obviously, keep them between two defenses if you're negating hogs, which you almost always are. You want to keep them between two defenses. You want to make sure that hogs are going to path through them. For instance, on this base, I've actually seen an attack where these two right here did not detonate. The reason being is that the kill squad took out all of this in here, and then when the hogs came in, they came this way, and they just cut right across and didn't even detonate them. So I've actually seen that happen before. It is doable, so you want to make sure that your double giant bombs are always going to get detonated by the pathing of the hogs. As well, you want to keep them away from your AQ, which I've explained before. Keep double giant bombs away from her. Keep them away from where you think a kill squad is going to come in, because they're not meant to destroy the kill squad, they're meant to destroy hogs. So now doubles compared to singles. If you're max 9, use whatever you want. Use 4 singles, use a set of doubles and 2 singles, use 2 sets of doubles. Doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want. Lower 9s, more or less, most of the time you want to use both, just because they'll inflict more damage to packs of hogs. And generally your other defenses aren't high enough to protect the rest of your base. Singles are actually, well, the singles kind of do the same thing that a kill zone does. They're meant to draw out the early heal spell. Hogs jump into them, one explodes, boom. It doesn't kill them all, but it does enough damage to them where people are going to drop that heal spell. So if you're going to use singles, make sure that there are more than one heal spell circumference or diameter away from the other single giant bomb. Obviously, you want to make sure that if you're going to force them to use that early heal, it's not going to cover over any other giant bombs. So that when they get to those other giant bomb spots, whether they're singles or doubles, they have to use more heals. We want to have people use their spells up as quick as possible and not have enough left at the end to finish off your base. So think about that. And that's pretty much all you need to know about bombs. You use all those tactics and make sure that you're pretty open with the double giant bombs or the giant bombs in general, whether you want doubles or singles. Just use them smartly. Make sure that they are in between two defenses, obviously, all the time. And put them in areas where you know hogs will path through them. All right, so moving on to air attacks now. We're going to talk about SAMs and these small air bombs. So there's 2 different placements for these. A lot of people think, hey, I'm just going to take all the different air mines I have and I'm just going to throw them all together, all around the ADs. That's what I'm going to do because that's going to work. There's actually a strategy to this. And yeah, no, the strategy is not always going to work, just like a lot of these other things won't, but sometimes the littlest tweaking will save your 3 stars. So what you want to do, SAMs are the black ones. You want to stack them, which means 2 of them together, and you want to put them on the ADs, 2 of the ADs at Town Hall 9, obviously, because you have 4 of them. You want to put them on 2 of the ADs that are not going to be taken out by a kill squad. So the ones that the hounds are definitely going to be going to when somebody targets them. So once again, look at your base. Say, where's a hound going to come in? Where are they going to, which ADs are they going to target with a kill squad? Which ones are they going to target with the hounds? So when you're doing that, make sure you stack them on the ADs that are not going to be taken out by the kill squad. The idea with that is these do a lot of damage actually to hounds, especially when they're at a higher level than mine, obviously. And we talked about in the last video how you want to keep your whiz towers away from your ADs because you want them to focus not on the lava hound, but on the balloons that are coming in. So, within saying that, your small air bombs, the thing is with these is they don't really do that much damage. They don't do damage to those high HP troops like the lava hounds. What you do want to do is don't stack them, keep them singularly on each whiz tower, and if they're not triggered by a hound coming in, which you'd be lucky if they weren't, but if they're not, they can actually do a bit more damage to groups of balloons, which can help you. If your wizard towers are focusing on them because you've done what I said and kept them away from the ADs, and then your air bombs go off, they can actually do some good damage, and you can end up taking out their attempt at a lava balloon. Think about that. I know it's just a small little tweak, and nobody really thinks about these little things sometimes. It can make the difference between 3 stars or 2 stars on your base. So, very important. The last 2 things I want to touch on in this video and this whole tutorial is spring traps and skeleton traps. Spring traps, pretty straightforward. Keep them between defenses where you know hogs are going to path. You kind of got to set on hog pathing and make sure you know how hogs are going to come in. You can set spring traps up 2 ways, which is to stop surgical hogs or to stop just full packs of hogs, whether it's a single drop or a double drop. So, but make sure you just set them up smartly. This is very base specific, and it's kind of hard to explain, but basically each spring trap can take out 3 hogs. So you have 6 of them at Town Hall 9. You can take out up to 18 hogs if you place them perfectly. Not saying that's going to happen, but like if you see on this base, they're all around the bottom part of the base, which is what you want. So they're all kind of in this area. I know the kill squad's going to come here, so there's no spring traps there. I don't want the spring traps going off for a kill squad. I want them going off for the hog, so that's why it's set up that way. There we go. So yeah, think about that when you're laying out spring traps. Fairly forward, but take your time and plan this stuff out. And last but not least, skeleton traps. So skeleton traps, they're kind of hard to screw up. Basically, there's only 2 things you want to do. One, don't keep them together. If you keep them together, people, if someone fails on their first attack on you and someone else comes in, they're going to know where skeleton traps are. If they're together, they can drop a poison over it before they even trigger them. And by the time you do trigger those skeleton traps, the skeletons may all die before they even get out of this poison. So keep them apart so that one poison can't cover them both. As well, keep them far enough inside the base where they're not going to be triggered from the outside, because you're just seeing it. I mean, skeletons do a decent amount of damage to hogs, so people will try to poison them if they can. So think about that. That's about it, guys, for my tutorial. I hope the first video on this video will help you in building your anti-3-star base. They're very important at Town Hall 8 and Town Hall 9. I know a lot of 8s don't use it. Like I've said before, check out One Hive's videos. Check out their Elite 8 videos. You'll see how good and how important it is for 8s to start using anti-3s. It really, really helps. So yeah, so I hope all these things will help. If you haven't enjoyed the first video, go back and check that one out. Please subscribe below. Check out my clan. It's Aces and 8s. We're a good war clan. We're always growing. We're advertising forums. We do these videos as much as possible. Yeah, we're always looking for good people. I mean, don't come to us if you're rushed. Don't come to us if you don't know how to do anything but drag, because we're really trying to look for people that know more than just dragging, obviously. We want people to be really good at Town Hall 8, especially at doing more than just dragging. At Town Hall 9, we'd like people that really are starting to get into 3-star strategies, using Go-Hos, using Golaloons, using Lavaloons, any of those kind of attacks. So yeah, check us out, guys. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and watch this video, and subscribe below. Thanks a lot.